What's up, guys? Welcome into another training camp edition of Chargers Weekly. If you're watching this, we're about a day from the first preseason game. If you're listening, about a day and a half, 2 days. Money, this is the hottest day so far, man.
Yeah, and I think that was reflected in the style of practice that we watched. It's kind of a lot of a walkthrough as opposed to, what we saw on Sunday. A little bit of a live scrimmage, which was a lot of fun since the last time we did a pod. So yeah, it's been a little toasty, but I'm not going to complain. I know there's people out there in Bethesda. There's people in Bourbonnais.
Yep.
There's some people out there
Spartansburg, South Carolina.
Exactly. Metairie, wherever they may be. They got it a lot worse than we do. So I'm definitely not going to complain about the weather here in Costa Mesa. Every now and then we get a breeze that comes through, and you know what? It gives me a chance to work on my copper tone pan.
It's good, And shout out to the Die Hard Bowl Club. We said we were going to wear them.
Exactly.
We're rocking them.
We're wearing them today. It was a perfect day to wear navy.
It was so perfect. It's always a perfect day to rock navy. Enrique, the president, there's a GoFundMe going around for him. He got like a bunch of stuff stolen from his car.
I saw that.
And I like the power of the Chargers fans, man. They step up.
Sure do.
I think there was like a $3,000 goal. He's close to it now. So if you haven't, check that out and maybe help Enrique out. And we appreciate the T-shirts, man, and appreciate you guys always listening.
Just thinking though, for next year, maybe like mid-season T-shirt. Let's go white. Let's go.
If you give us an option, maybe a dry fit white.
We can go
a
white.
dry fit white, it'll be good.
We can go white, or we can go powder blue. Moving forward.
We got joints with the Cowboys next week. The crowds have been incredible here. So I think is this the final open to the public?
I believe
practice?
It is. I'm looking at B here. I believe it is. Yes, it is. There we go. Looking for confirmation, but yes, I believe so. I had to fight for parking today. Ended up having to. I think I stole Ed McGuire's spot.
Did you?
I did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice.
Ed's cool though. Ed's not going to give you.
I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to park in a C-level executive. I'm going to park in an executive spot here, and I'm going to see what happens. Are they going to tow my vehicle or not? So hopefully it's still there. Hopefully it's still there when we leave.
So if we don't melt beforehand, Joshua Kelley's going to join us. Easton Stick is going to join us. Two guys who are going to play a lot, I believe, on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we'll get some observations from Jeff Miller as we close out. But what are you looking forward to on Saturday? Money, obviously the starters aren't going to play, but there's still a lot to look forward to.
Look, this is, again, it's my MO, and I'm not trying to lean into it or be funny, but, what I'm really looking forward to is special teams, because it's so hard. You can't practice special teams in training camp. You can't go all out. You can't freaking run cover and have guys plow into each other at full speed, but you will in the preseason game. And, a lot of the guys that are going to be responsible for cover and kickoff are going to be out there. So it's an opportunity, I think, for us to see Coach Fickens kind of what he's installed and what they've been walking through. And he talked to the media yesterday, and he was asked, I think Popper might have asked him, what is it that, what can you get out of training camp for special teams, because you're obviously not going full out. And he said you can get a lot. Are guys in the right place? Are they taking the right lanes? Are they seeing the openings? That's all stuff that they can work on. So now I'm excited to see that put into practice. And really less about, I'm talking less about field goals and kickoffs, and it's really more about punt, because we know that was a bit of an issue last year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this guy who's walking over right now and sitting down, one of our favorites.
What's good?
Joshua Kelley.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks.
Been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Been a while.
Rocking the 2.5 in 2022, Joshua.
What's good?
See, there's bonding.
Asante showing
and
respect
Joshua.
to 25, right?
Yeah, no, rocking the 2.5, man. No, it's definitely a different look. I'm feeling it. It's pretty cool.
Well, you're looking good in it.
Thank
And we
you.
were just talking about what we're looking forward to on Saturday, and Money
Appreciate it.
just brought up the special teams, and obviously that's a big part of the game. But that running back competition too, man, it seems like everything's been ratcheted up a little bit too with Isaiah in the room.
Yeah, no, it has been. He's a great addition to our room. A guy who's really smooth. He's a good runner, man. He's really young too, and he's really advanced at his age. So it's really cool, man. I love competition. I think we've all been making each other better. I definitely think Eckler's been raising the bar in this room. So man, you got to embrace it.
Speaking of raising the bar, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, Joshua, but
Yeah.
I was like, I think he lost weight. And they were like, no, he didn't lose weight. He gained weight.
Which you gained muscle.
You got freaking swole in the offseason. Like, what were you doing this offseason?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
what bars were you raising? What are you throwing, an incline bench? What are you doing out there?
He's working out with the old lineman.
Yeah, no, I've been really attacking. I would say like just the weight room, attacking just like my body. Like I wanted to really add more explosiveness and strength to my body. Man, like it's been a big difference. I feel like a lot of stuff I do was just a lot of lower body stuff, a lot of trap bars, squats, jumps. Like that stuff really helps with this explosiveness right here, man. Like. Yeah, no, I got bigger.
Yeah,
for
you did.
Sure. The nutrition helps though. Like, if anybody really wants to know how you get like bigger, stronger, nutrition, it's big.
So what are you doing? Just like piles of vegetables, or like what's
Yes.
talk to me about nutrition?
Yeah, no,
what do you
definitely.
help the kids out there that are listening, man?
That's a great
Especially look at my legs. This is genetics. There's
Come on,
nothing I can do.
Take some notes.
Nothing I can do.
That's a good question. I think for me, man, I had a lot of protein. So like a lot of protein, and carbs gives you energy. And I tried to reduce as much fat and sugar as I could. Obviously fats you got to have every now and then, but sugar was a big thing I kind of eliminated. So I eliminated a lot of sugary drinks, like a lot of your Gatorades, a lot of your like sodas, your teas, coffee. I got rid of it. Every now and then I might indulge on a few sports drinks here and there, but for the most part, like I try to lower sugar as much as possible. And I got rid of going to Cane's. I used to love going to Raising Cane's.
It's tough. It is tough, right? But you see those results.
Exactly. I think that was the biggest thing. Like month 1, I was like, I don't know. Then month 2, I saw the results. And I was like, oh, wow. I saw how my body was moving. I saw the feedback it was giving me. I was like, oh, wow, like this is pretty crazy. So then now it's a little bit easier to go by Cane's and be like, oh, I'm good.
Right.
Or like to see that sugary drink, like, I'm good off it.
You know what you ought to do? Here's what you ought to do. Because California. You ought to bring back Kookaroo, right?
Kookaroo is the best.
Right? Let's take on Cane's. Let's bring back Kookaroo.
That's a
and
classic.
get that grilled chicken.
Yeah, not a lot of people know about that. But
Exactly
yeah,
right.
That grilled chicken is good for you. See, that's the thing that I struggled with earlier on was eating those type of foods, like super bland.
Right.
But man, like it works. It helps. Like your body, I'm telling you. Like
What about like beer? You drink beers or no?
Beer? No, I'm not really a beer guy.
Okay.
I like wine.
You do like wine.
I
Like
like
red wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we've talked. This is how you built the body in the off season. How different has it felt? Like talk about the results that you're now feeling out on the because it looks different. I'll tell you that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's definitely for me, man. Like for me, I know my body can handle a lot. I know I can go over here and deliver contact to linebackers who are blitzing. I know I can, stand firm in protection on special teams and run down there and make tackles. I think for me, man, like the biggest thing I'm seeing is that when I'm running the ball, man, that I'm accelerating my feet through contact. I'm not getting pushed back or absorbing. I'm actually delivering a blow. So, man, that's been pretty good.
I heard you talk to Justin about this. It's year 2 for him in this offense. It's year 3 for you in the NFL, Joshua. You had turnover, right? You had a coaching staff in 19 or 20. Talk about just what it's been like being with Brandon Staley for 2 straight years.
No, it's been a huge difference. Honestly, like I could tell you guys from experience right now is like when you're out there, being in the playbook, being in the system, you're not up till 11. What's up?
Yeah, there he
What's
is.
up, Larry? But you're not up till 12 a.m. looking at the install on the pages because you've been in it before. It's like, all right, I know the plays. I can go out here and play faster.
Yeah.
So it's been a big help for me. Like, all right, boom, hear the play. I know where I need to go. Let's just play football.
Yeah.
It's good.
I meant 20. The pandemic has got me all messed up because I remember your first game. You scored a touchdown against the Bengals to go 1-0.
Only touchdown of the game.
Only touchdown of the game. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly right.
That was pretty cool, man. No, that time flies, man. Like, I'm trying to get back to that, playing free, playing without thinking. For me, I feel like I have been, like, this past camp has just been like, all right, I know the plays. Let's play football, man. Like, I did the work in the off season.
Yep.
I'm still doing the work.
This is the man right here.
Oh,
yeah.
Larry coming in.
The man right
Larry,
here.
Larry's the man.
This is the man.
You got to interview him
Looks
next.
like he changed his body
Yeah.
too.
Exactly.
We did.
Hey,
We've been
looks
working
like-
in all season.
Looks like
baby.
Walter Payton.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
We got sweetness in the way.
This is the guy.
No,
This is the guy right here.
he's
No,
the guy.
go back over here. This is the guy.
Nah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you, bro. Love you too, bro. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. That, like, we've been all competing, but we love each
But
other.
see, that's
At
what's
the end
cool.
of the day,
Right.
man.
It's a good room.
It's all love.
You guys got it's a time where everybody's competing, right? Everybody's
Exactly.
trying to get playing time, but you have that togetherness. How do you guys strike
Exactly.
that balance?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just being a pro. It's like it's one of those things where it's like we all get it. We know we're competing. We know we're in competition, but we're being a pro. It's like us competing is going to help this team better.
Yeah.
It's going to help the run game better. And I feel like for us, we know, like, hey, the best guy will play. that's just how it is. That's how sports has always been. It's nothing personal. I feel like when you take it personal, that's when it gets toxic. That's when it gets kind of like, a little bit of weird beef going on. But I don't take things personal. If a guy's better than me, then he's better.
Yeah.
That's just how it's always been. You can't hate that. You can't be mad at that, But, yeah, we got good guys who are really happy and excited to play.
You mentioned you're not thinking as much. Just kind of wondering, ball security is such an important deal, man. You had that touchdown in week 1, following week against the Chiefs. There's the fumble. Did that get in your head? Like, was that something that you're talking about? Like, I need to get that sort of part of it out of my head?
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that was a huge setback for me my first year, and it lingered way more than it should have been. And I'm looking back at that, I'm glad it happened then, because now it's one of those things where I need to understand as a football player, like, those things are going to happen.
Right.
You try your best to avoid it, but
And it happens to the best, Joshua.
It does. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom Brady still throws picks, like, happens. But I think I understand it's like, how can I learn from it? How can I move past failure and get better? That's something I've been learning and saying, like, even out here in camp, I'll have a bad play or a practice. I'm like, all right, but how do I move on? How do you take it, learn from it, and say, like, all right, like, that play doesn't define who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you can apply that anywhere in life, where it's like, dang, like, that doesn't define who I am as a player or person. So, yeah.
How are you approaching Saturday? What do you want to get across on Saturday? I know there's 1 of 3, but, it's a big one just to kick things off.
No, it is. It's definitely huge. And for me, man, however many reps I can get or play, I just want to show that my effort, I'm running hard, running through stuff, running through tackles, special teams, protecting, being firm, going down there and making tackles. I just want to have effort, man. No matter what happens, good, bad, I just want effort in my finish, I feel like good things will happen if I just take care of that,
We always hear kind of the best way to stay on the field is to be able to pass pro, get your pass pro right.
Yeah.
So share with us, you come in as a rookie, what level you felt like you were at when you're with your pass protections and where you are, because it feels like you've really grown. Like, of all the things you do, it feels like you've gotten really good at that.
Yeah, no, thank you. I feel like my first year, and I was just telling the podium this, like, my first year, man, it was more so like, who do I block? Like, I'm seeing like safeties, linebackers. I'm seeing like these stand-up ends. I'm like, oh man, like, who is it? Who do I have? And then ball snaps as soon as you're trying to process it. Now it's like being in the system for another year. It's like, all right, I know who I'm blocking. I know, like, all right, boom, I have him. Boom, I'm seeing the safety leverage. Like, all right, the linebacker's coming. So once you know who you have, you can go up there and try to close as much distance as you can and just deliver a blow. And like, my whole mentality, like I told them, is I'm not trying to absorb contact. I feel like I watch a lot of guys get up there and absorb. I'm trying to deliver a blow. I'm trying to show off all the strength I did in the offseason. Like, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You mentioned Walter Payton when you saw Larry. I mean, some of the best Walter highlights, man, are him blowing dudes up.
Exactly.
And I would assume that feels pretty good when you can knock a linebacker on his ass.
It does. I'm telling you, man, like, there's a few things in football that gets me excited. Running a guy over, jumping over a guy, scoring a touchdown. But to be honest, when you stuff like just stone a linebacker in the middle of the hole, like, that feels good, like, you're not getting to the quarterback, like, boom, it's a good feeling.
But at the same time, it's a team effort, and the continuity on the offensive line from last year to this year, adding Zion.
Yeah.
What has he meant early on? Just that initial reaction to him being on that line.
Yeah, no, this dude is really strong. Like, he's really good. Like, I'm just watching him, during tape, and he's just moving guys out the way. Like, we're really excited about him. Just what he can do, run game, pass game. Yeah, man, these dudes are young. It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm 30 years. I'm like, oh, man, these dudes are super young, but they're super smart, and they're really talented. So, yeah, it's dope.
You had one of the greatest performances in the history.
I was going to bring it up. I'm glad you brought it up.
USC-UCLA rivalry.
Yeah.
When you want to talk about just kind of putting it on a team, and I'm just thinking about week 1.
Yeah.
I know you got to keep your focus on these 3 preseason weeks and these joint practices, and obviously trying to, kind of figure out what that room's going to look like and how it's all going to shake out. But I'm just thinking, week 1, Raider week.
289?
Right? I'm just saying.
289?
I'm just saying, guy knows when to step up.
Yeah.
Joshua knows. Like, hey, it's USC week. Watch what I'm about to do to you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, no, I feel like that was one of those games where my mindset wasn't, I'm thinking so much. It was just about, I'm going to go out here and just dominate every rep I get, and my effort from the first play, from like just the first whistle to the last whistle, just finish. And I think for me, man, like, that's going to be a big game for us, opening it up. But I feel like you said, like, I got to focus on now,
Yeah.
I got to focus on today, meetings, recovery. Then I got to focus on preseason. We got to get there. But at this point, man, like, that mindset has to always be there. It's
That's
up here, man. It's up here. And I've been watching a lot of videos and a lot of guys, like how they play. Jordan, Kobe, watching a bunch of people, like that mindset right here, man. It's killer. It's a killer instinct you got to have as a competitor, you know? So I'm a fan of that.
Oh, yeah. All right, last thing. What are your maxes? Like, how much are you up now
Oh, wow.
on your maxes? Like, what are we
That's a good
talking about here?
question.
What are we doing?
Yeah, see, funny story, man. So I came in early off season, tried to bench 315, couldn't do it. I was really disappointed in myself. I was like, dang, why can't I hit this? So then now, man, I'm doing it easily. I'm doing around 345, 55-ish.
Yeah.
So I got a lot stronger on
Here we
bench.
go. Oh, yeah.
Squat, I'm north of 400, I believe. And yeah, trap bar. I really love trap bar, man. That's my baby.
Oh, yeah.
I love trap bar. So I hit around 5 plates, I think. So yeah, like it's.
You're ready.
Yeah, no, I
Ready.
got stronger, man. I'm
Freaking
telling
tent
you.
neck.
Which-
We're going to get over here.
But you know who's really strong, man? Eck. Like Eck is.
Oh, it's stupid, right?
I'm chasing that strength.
He's
that
setting the
strength
standard
is-
in that room,
yeah.
huh?
That strength is crazy, man. So yeah, he's setting the standard for it.
Yeah, I told him we were sitting over there doing DJ and I were doing NFL Network, and they were running you guys were running the blaster.
Yeah.
Dude, when Eck hits the blaster, I mean, it sounds like the world's exploding.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. No, the blaster's taking the blow. I mean, the
Right.
punishment is crazy, man.
No.
Dude is strong.
You're the easiest dude on the team to root
Oh,
for, man.
thank
We're
you. Appreciate that.
pumped for you.
Thank
Look forward to Saturday,
Appreciate
all
you,
right?
Joshua.
me too.
All right,
man.
Thank you,
take
guys.
care.
We'll see you out there on Saturday.
Yeah, enjoy.
How about that, Joshua Kelley?
Freaking Swole Patrol.
Swole Patrol.
That is right there.
You know what, though? I go back to, like, I think it was like a month or two ago where, we were talking about the running back 2 competition, and you said, listen, I'm high on Joshua Kelley. And I've been high
Yeah.
on Joshua Kelley. And
Yeah.
that 289 against the Trojans tells you everything you need to know. He's got it in him.
He looks different, and that's why, like, I was so surprised when we were talking about it early in camp. I had mentioned, Josh lost some weight, and then, about 3 days later, they're like, no, dude, Josh gained like 10 pounds. And then, this is the first time I've been really close to him, and I didn't realize how freaking muscly he got, how big he got. So I can understand what he's talking about.
Larry got big, too.
Larry got big too.
Larry
But
got big, too.
Larry's always been big. Like Larry's always been. You got a beeper?
I'm a type 1 diabetic. So when your blood sugar goes up,
Gotcha.
you got a little alarm clock.
Here
and
we go.
It's not necessary for the pod, but
Okay.
sorry about that.
All right. No, it's all right. Listen, I'm an old man, so I hear that.
Did you watch Hard Knocks?
And I'm like, dude.
Did you watch
I
Hard
did,
Knocks?
yeah.
Did you see like when the guy had his
His
phone on?
Yeah,
And
had his
he's
phone
like, What's
going.
your name? Colton.
Exactly.
All right, Colton.
Yeah. All right. Got your alarm, huh? Alarm's going off. By the way, I don't want to say it.
Say it.
It's just like, look, yes, Dan Campbell is awesome, and it's fun to watch him, but I feel like we know how this story ends, right? We see this story every year. Every time we get excited about it, we're like, God, how great is it? Mike Singletary, the stuff he says, this is awesome. Jim Tomsula, this is great. This is Rex Ryan, I love this guy. And it's like, it's great. I'm 100% in. It is great. I just want to see it work.
I was taken aback by how many former players are on the staff.
The whole staff.
You got Brunell, Randall L.,
Yeah.
Hank Fraley.
Deuce
Deuce,
Staley,
Aaron Glenn. It's insane.
Anthony Lynn, our dear friend,
Yeah,
Coach Lynn was
he's
there
in
last
San
year as
Francisco
the OC. It's a staff of former players that certainly played at high levels, and I hope it works. I do, man. I would love to see it work. By all accounts, seems like Dan is a great guy.
Yeah.
But
His up-down game is solid.
that was interesting. That was really interesting. And again, I hope it works. I'm glad the Lions got him, and that he's there in Detroit. And I sincerely hope it works.
Yep.
Kind of like the guy we got.
Yep.
I'm pretty good with the guy we got. The way he runs the operation. But just going to the running back room and kind of what Joshua was talking about, and this is something that Justin, DJ, and I were doing NFL Network yesterday, and this is something that Justin said to us when we asked him about all the additions on defense, and he said, you know what, the best part of it is they're all good guys. He's like, he goes, to me, that's a huge deal. Like, all these guys are good guys, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate what they bring from like a character standpoint. You're good, Rashawn. You can walk right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you
70
want.
does whatever he wants.
You can do whatever
70
you
does
want.
whatever he wants.
Exactly. Exactly right. And he said it's all the additions are high character additions, and I think that's what Joshua was speaking to, right? Yes, we know that there could be an odd man out here. One of the guys that is in that room could very well find himself on the practice squad.
And that's what's so cool. You see Larry come over here, and I love Joshua Kelley. I mean, these dudes are battling it out for a roster spot in the National Football League. That's a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it speaks to the character in the room for sure, and it extends beyond. I mean, it's not just that running backs room, man. I think at every level of this team, there's that character, and coaches talks about building a team. That you're starting to see the fruits of that.
Well, I think, one of the things that Joshua brought up was, this applies to everything in life.
Yeah. We talked about the quarterback's room.
Yeah, exactly. And here comes Easton.
And we got a quarterback.
Slide right in.
Easton Stick in the mix.
Slide
How are you, man?
right in.
I'm good. How are you guys?
What's
see
up,
you.
Easton? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Monty was just talking about the fact that he talked to Justin yesterday, and the quarterback's room, man. It's a group. High character dudes who like each other.
Yeah, it's fun to be a part of because it's not like that everywhere. But yeah, it's been fun, especially I think a second year together. That's rare to have the same group of guys. So it's been a lot of fun. Shoot, we know each other really well now. We spent so much time together last year, and yeah, he just kind of pick up where he left off.
Tell us, and obviously everyone that's watching and listening, kind of like what is your in-season role? What are you and Chase doing, all year long, all week long to kind of help this team perform at as high a level and Justin at as high a level as possible?
Yeah, I think it starts with helping Justin, in whatever he needs. There's so much on his plate week to week, obviously with football and then without, outside of it, just taking as much as we can off his plate. If there's little things, he needs help with or insight, whatever, you're on top of things so you can help. And then two, I think it's, preparing the defense on scout team. It's helping with guys that, after practice that maybe you don't get every rep, but, like a guy like Jason Moore, who you're up, like be ready to go, and being able to stay with him after practice and let's just throw the script. And so he gets those reps, we get those reps, and so we're preparing to play. But, just kind of helping everybody prepare the best way we can.
Easton, what was your adjustment level like from, let's say, Shane's offense to what Coach Lombardi brought in last year? And how much more comfortable do you feel in this system from year one to year two?
Yeah, so much more comfortable because they are different systems. And the pass game, I think, especially just how it's viewed is a little bit differently. And so learning the concepts, understanding how Joe's seeing them, why he's calling it, I think that's so important. And so having a whole year now of understanding, like, hey, this is kind of what we're looking for when we're calling this play. And then learning the footwork to it and the little nuance of it. At the end of the day, like, everyone's running the same type of plays across the league. Everybody's doing the same stuff, but it's the little nuance and how you teach it and the guys you're playing with that I think are so different. And so just getting reps and continuing to gain some experience doing it. We,
in a scrimmage, you had the play of the day. A little bit of a broken play there, rolling to your left, and it looked like Isaiah was just kind of following you. Had that beautiful connection down that left sideline. Put it right in the breadbasket in stride. He hauled it in. Walk us through kind of a play that unfolds that way, what you're doing, because that's something you've done your whole career and you're so good at. And it was fun to watch it kind of come to fruition in front of all the fans in that scrimmage.
Yeah, you're never thinking that's gonna how it's gonna end up, right? That's not the design. Joe's not putting that one in. And it's like, hey, run around like a crazy person and make a really tough angle throw.
Joe can't get credit for that one.
Yeah. Hey, Isaiah, make a really tough catch for me and drag your toe on the sideline, because it really was a tough catch for him. And he did an awesome job, and he's having a fun camp. It's cool watching him kind of grow. But yeah, you just play, it's like you said, I've always kind of played that way. And it's just something that's a part of my game. You're obviously not trying to do it, but you go through the progression, and if the pocket's not perfect and you step through and stuff just happens. And guys do a really good job. We talk about scramble drill all the time, and it's something you work. And so that was just one of those plays that it all kind of worked out perfect, and Isaiah made a great play.
You remember his first preseason game in Arizona?
Absolutely.
That fourth quarter?
Absolutely.
That's kind of like in a nutshell what it's all about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes, you just run around and things happen.
What are we going to see on Saturday? Like, what is it that you're looking to get out of that game, and what is it that the team looks to get out of a preseason? It's just changed so much these last 4 years.
It definitely has. Even in this is my fourth year, I guess, only third preseason, I guess, with the COVID year, but it is totally different even than my first year. And but I think going out there, and I think like pre-snap being really good, getting off the field, on the field, getting in the huddle, out of the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage, and then just like pre-snap, getting aligned correctly and doing your assignment. I think that's the biggest thing, is you can take what we've done these first couple weeks, 13 practices, whatever it is, and go out there and just execute what we're doing. Because no one's doing a bunch of crazy stuff schematically. It's just going out there and let's line up correctly, and then let's just play fast and compete and see what happens.
Easton, you know what it takes to win. Was it 48-3 at North Dakota State? I think
49.
49-3. I
Cheated him.
Cheated him.
Sorry,
Cheated him.
That last one was a big one too. That's a championship. That 49.
All right, so 49-3. You know what it takes to win. You're in a quarterback's room with someone like Justin Herbert, who's maniacal about the way he approaches the game. I don't know if you could just talk about the work ethic that Justin puts in from your vantage point, because you know what it takes to play at the elite level and win at a high level.
Yeah, he's impressive. It's just every day, and that's what it has to be that way. You don't have a time for these 6-7 months, whatever the season is. Like, it just has to be that day. It's every day, 7 days a week, and I think just like the stamina he has to understand that, you know, there's a lot of people counting on you, and as quarterbacks, we love that pressure. Like, we want to be in front of it and to take charge and kind of lead it. But man, he works his tail off, and it's every single day. He doesn't take days off, and you know, whatever it is, it's him preparing in the film room, taking care of his body in the weight room. I mean, he lifts hard during the season, he stays strong, and it's post practice. Shoot, he'll be on the field after practice throwing routes all year long. And so everyone sees that, and I think it just kind of raises the expectation of everybody in the building. When like the top guy is preparing that way,
Sure.
You got to look at yourself and be like, shoot, man, I got to do the same thing.
I don't listen. I'm a terrible person, so I'm going to ask the question. Who were the three, and how well do you remember those games, and what happened in those games?
Oh, I can tell you those three probably more than.
I figured than the
more
49,
than
right?
the
That's what all the great ones say. They're like, I don't remember the wins, but
Yeah.
I definitely remember the losses.
Yeah, we lost to South Dakota State, who's like a big rival, twice, back-to-back years. In 16, it was my sophomore season, we lost on the last second play. They threw a fade, you know, in the left, like west corner of the Fargo Dome for a touchdown. We lost. Brutal. We had a chance on like a third down to like 4-minute drill, close it out, and we didn't. The next year, we turned it over a bunch at South Dakota State. So 2 years in a row, we lost that one. And then in 16, we lost to James Madison in the Fargo
That's
Dome
my
in the
alma
semi.
mater. That's my alma mater.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dukes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a good program. They're moving up. They're in.
Yeah.
So good for them.
And
man.
Coach Taylor was the D coordinator there.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of cool connections. But yeah, that's a good program.
So the lineage was it Carson, you, and then Trey?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
There wasn't
so-
anyone between you and
No,
Trey?
there
incredible.
wasn't. There
That's
wasn't.
incredible.
Yeah, Carson was a junior when I redshirted, and then I was the backup his senior year. He got hurt, so I got to play a bunch that year. Carson came back, played really well in the championship game, and then kind of blew up with all the pre-draft stuff.
Right.
And then Trey came in and redshirted my last year.
Right. So do you keep in touch? Do you guys keep?
Yeah, definitely.
You have a group text kind of thing going?
Absolutely. Make a point. We're all out here. Well, shoot, I'm out here, I guess. But Carson came out. Trey spent some time down here in Southern California working with the 3D quarterback guys in Huntington Beach. And so, shoot, we get together a few times a year, and it's cool. Yeah.
It's got to be cool to watch him from far in D.C. and then you'll see Trey up close. I guess Sunday Night Football, right? San Francisco.
Exactly. So it's neat. Yeah, Trey was out here for practice a year ago
Last year,
and all that
yeah.
stuff. So it's just fun. Like, shoot, North Dakota State, I think we got 12, 15 guys right now in camps. And so it's just cool knowing that, it's a small school, but it's good football, and it's fun to, kind of keep in touch with all those guys.
You're so young in this league too, Easton, and I know Coach Staley talked about your development as a passer. What do you want to accomplish this preseason that allows you to take that next jump into the NFL?
Yeah, I think just find a rhythm, and I think I've worked really hard this offseason to do that through OTAs, even just 7-on-7 stuff, but like really feeling the footwork, feeling the timing of these routes, and trying to translate it over now to 11-on-11 in these live situations. So I think really just be cleaning the footwork and try to find a rhythm and just distribute the ball where it's supposed to go and be decisive. And shoot, we'll just go out there and compete and play, but I think that's the biggest thing for me is just finding that rhythm and being decisive.
You always hear about mental reps, So like, what's your game day like? What are those mental reps like when you're watching what's happening on the field and how you're processing it and what you want to take out of all those snaps?
Yeah, trying to see it just like Justin would. Obviously, we sit in the meetings all week and we talk through, the plan and what we're trying to accomplish with certain plays, maybe in certain situations, and being in tune to that and kind of trying to see it as he's seeing it in real time. But at the same time, I'm kind of back behind the play, helping chart, helping us stay on schedule with some of that stuff with Shane. So when we get to the sideline, we can go through it. And just trying to see different things that, when we do come back and, if Justin has a question or if Shane has a question, we can kind of, from my perspective, Shane's perspective, Chase's perspective, kind of put it all together and help Justin and maybe simplify some things and just let him go and play fast.
How many touchdown passes is Matt Money Smith going to call by Easton Stick on Saturday?
Oh, boy, that's a good question.
Oh.
Is it going to be a half and a half? Is that what it is, or what do you think?
We haven't talked about it, but I would imagine it's about
Something
right.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, I typically don't throw it around a whole lot if I remember right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the script's going to look like.
Yeah, and you never
Scrambles.
know how the game's going too.
Exactly.
Right? Like I think I got in the first one last year, and we were down, but went down and scored to take the lead, and then it was kind of like a 4-minute drill.
Right.
The rest of the game, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
let's find a way to get a W and get out of there.
Yeah,
But,
I'll give him 2.
Yeah,
Give him
I
2
like
tugs.
two.
I think that works.
Yeah.
I think
You
one,
want 3? I mean, I think
Well,
2. 3 is ridiculous,
shoot,
right? I
love
think
for-
2's.
yeah, 3,
I
4.
think, I think one on the ground.
I think 2's. I'd like that.
And one through the air.
I would not mind.
Yeah, man. As long as we're putting the some points on the board,
There
we'll
you
be
go.
all right.
I hope this doesn't sound. I think this is fine. We played golf together, so you'll get the analogy. I wouldn't call it I did golf, but we
No, me
we
neither.
walked
Is he a
around the
golfer?
course together. No.
He's more of one than I am.
That's not true. Not true. And the only thing I did on that golf course was convince people to hit from a stupid lie. I was like, I think we should use my drive on this one, guys.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
come up
yeah.
into this tee box. This is a better line. Do you think it's kind of like a caddy situation where, like, you don't, like, do you not, hey, Justin, I saw this. You wait for him in a game to come to you. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, why don't we try the 7, not the 8? Like, that's not necessarily.
Exactly.
Is that right?
I think that's a good way of putting it, and I think it depends too on your relationship with who's playing. Obviously, with Justin, I think it's very much that way. He's so instinctual and sees it so well and is prepared. Like, you don't have to give him much. Maybe every once in a while he'll ask a question, or you remind him, like, hey man, like, this is like the field zone. They like to do this pressure. Like, whatever, get out of the way. Like, let him play. Philip was more, and I was new, so it wasn't like, shoot, Philip was 17 years or whatever. Someone like, hey Phil, the safety on this one, like, I wasn't doing that. But Philip was more like, let's communicate, and wants to talk through everything. And it's more of, that's just kind of how he processed.
Right.
Versus Justin will just, I got it. Like, give him
Right.
some space. So I think that is a fair analogy for sure.
Last thing for me, I see these wide receivers, man. Keenan and Mike, obviously, but the leap that we think Joshua Palmer is going to take, Jalen Guyton, DeAndre Carter, who's
Yeah.
catching a bunch of balls and making plays out here.
He's like everyone's favorite target.
It
Yeah, no
is.
question.
Yeah. Michael
It's
Bandy's
hilarious.
catching everything.
Bandy's
Bandy's catching everything.
Yeah.
Your assessment of the offense and where it can go based off of last year, because last year was pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's exciting. We got weapons for sure, and obviously Justin. But yeah, I think year 2 in the system for almost everybody. You add Gerald and you add DeAndre in there, and they're learning it, picking it up fast. And DC is such a good job, man. He's similar to Keenan, where it just has like such a good feel. Like, you just always feel like you know where he's going to be. You understand his body, how he's going to cut, and so he's fun to throw with. But yeah, I think just the nuance and understanding in year 2. Now it's like, okay, like, we understand the play. Now here's the little details, and here's how Justin sees it, and you can just advance it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, just super quick, and then you're done. Because I think you're the last person on the field. So you can, if you could just pull something out of North Dakota and drop it here and have it every day, what would it be? Not like your family, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nothing like that, but just like a place or a whatever, something to eat.
Oh, that's a good question. Gosh, the people are so great there. That would be the obvious answer, like you
Yeah.
said. That's tough. There's a place we used to go after we won the championship games called Shub's Pub. That would be a great addition, I think, to like the Costa Mesa, Newport Beach scene.
Okay.
There you go.
That'd be a little fun. So
Let's
Shub's
go.
Pub,
What
best
they-
popcorn of all
Popcorn?
time. Yeah, they got, you
Kettle
walk
corn.
in and they got the, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a solid place.
Shub's.
A
All
lot,
right,
of,
let's
lot
go.
of good memories. So
Let's
Shub's
recreate
Pub,
it.
Costa Mesa. Let's do it.
recreate it.
Let's do it.
Get Easton some popcorn after
Yeah,
after
man.
Saturday.
Appreciate you
Thanks,
guys.
Easton.
Yeah,
Appreciate
right.
it, man.
Good to see y'all.
All right, looking forward to watching you.
Thanks, guys.
We got hey, Jeff Miller. Jeff Miller, the LA Times, going to join us here in a minute. Hey, this is fun.
Yeah.
Gonna
be a lot of Easton out there on Saturday.
Play a lot on Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we didn't get them roasted, sit down, Jeff.
Yeah. Come on, Jeff.
Your turn to cook in the sun.
Yeah.
We've done it to Joshua Kelley, and now we just did it to Easton.
I was wondering where the awning was. I'm going to be honest with you.
There's
Listen,
no hunting.
hey, guess what?
Seriously?
You can complain all you want. I've been sitting out here for an hour.
I know.
I'm really cooking.
Jeff Miller, LA Times, joins us for a little bit of observation. Appreciate you waiting in the sun, but I know you had other things to do. No?
Yeah, we had a little talk with the coach, and this is the important talk right here.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
This is it.
It's 3 of us right
You
here.
can. First of all, do you have any music to promote?
I am not musically inclined at all, so there will be no.
Jeff is
there's
pushing
no,
pear. He's
Yeah,
pushing
there's-
Popper's pear.
Have you listened to Ride?
I have not. And,
Still not?
I have not. No. The problem is, I'm afraid if I hear it, I'm going to get addicted to it, and then I just,
You can't
how
do that for
Popper
Popper,
is.
whatever.
He's
You can't
just,
do that.
so I'm
Give him any compliments?
I'm leery to get dive into it too deep. So
All right, so we've been over here. What did Coach say about Saturday?
Well, I missed a good chunk of it because I was talking to Mike Williams.
What did Mike Williams say to you? That's ruin your article. That's no need to go to the LA Times.
So
to check it
yeah,
out.
screw it. Just tell us. So what I do know that he was a little elusive about who's going to play on some respects. Obviously the right tackles are going to play, but he was asked specifically about a couple of guys and kind of wasn't real. So we'll have to see exactly who's going to be out there. But
So what were you talking like Michael Davis, Jerry Tillery kind of stuff?
Boom, you nailed the two guys right
Yeah.
there. So and Tillery specifically,
What about Zion?
I was told no one asked about Zion, but I would think he's got to play.
I'm guessing he's playing.
Gotta
Right?
get some
I
reps,
would
right?
guess so, yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of different, I guess Popper said he asked specifically about Jerry, and Staley didn't really answer, which is very unusual for him
Yeah.
to not answer a question. So we'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. But I think we're going to see a little bit of the right tackles, obviously the running backs, which is what I think it'll be fun to see those guys.
Yeah. And I would guess, I'd be really surprised if we didn't see Josh Palmer, and DeAndre Campbell.
Yeah.
Just get those guys out there to get live reps in the offense and just get Josh more reps. I think we'll see them out there. Like you said, I think I don't think we're going to see Gerald Everett, but I think you might end up seeing McKitty out there and, some of those
Yeah.
tight ends just to get.
Absolutely.
I think everybody just assumes that no one's going to play, and it's like,
You got-
there's
guys have
people
to
that are
play.
going to play.
Yeah, to your point about special teams, like a lot of those guys who are going to play special teams during the regular season, they're going to be out there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Well,
so special teams is a big deal.
It's like Michael Davis, you'd think, if nothing else, he's going to be out there doing punts,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's what he's been doing, and he's been also on the kickoff. So you figure if they're really, if that's going to be a thing in the regular season, why wouldn't he be doing it in a preseason game? And he's done it early in his career, but obviously they want to see that again. And there are, and the other thing is, some of these guys are going to have to play just because they have to have
Enough bodies.
Yeah, and there's some guys are hurt and aren't going to be able to play. So you're right. Like a guy like like McKitty or Palmer. I mean, those guys, they should be out there.
100%.
I mean, they're still young, still trying to establish themselves. And
Do you have a 53? Like, do you have like a big whiteboard in your office? Or you look at it every day and you take your mental picture, then you come to practice, come to camp, and you're like, okay, I'm going to move this here, I'm going to move this here. They're all on magnets.
The first mistake you're making is assuming I have an office, which
That's right. You're like me. You're a beach burnout. You're a freaking burnout, Miller, just like I am. And we don't have offices.
Let alone a draft board.
Exactly right.
So it's funny you say that. So after this game, like if Sunday, I'm gonna do my first 53.
There you go.
So we'll see how that goes. And
Yeah.
the tricky thing with the 53 is trying to project injuries and so like who's going to be back. Like I don't think Kenneth Murray's going to be ready.
No.
I don't know if Donald Parham's going to be ready. So you got to sort of factor those in.
Right.
But that's where the 53 becomes tricky, is just trying to figure out who's going to be available and all that. But so Sunday I will be able to
Kick that off.
There you go.
So my version of the whiteboard, as you put it, which is actually probably going to be like a little 8x10 notebook pad, that will be my whiteboard.
That's not it. No, it's the sand. Like Jeff in his house has like one of those pictures that says "My Office," and it's a photo of like the south side of the Huntington Beach Pier, and Jeff just shredding on a freaking 510 stamps quad, just losing his mind. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Jeff, any guys stand out to you that we don't typically talk about during training camp these first 2 weeks?
Jasir Taylor, I thought he's made some plays, right? We've seen he had an interception,
Big pick.
a forced fumble. Yesterday it was, I think. Yesterday.
2 days. Was it yesterday?
He had a forced fumble yesterday. He had the pick the
Yeah.
day before. That's a guy. You're pretty excited about that. You get those late round picks you don't really know. That's why a guy like Mark Webb is so interesting. Like he's showing some stuff. That was a 7th round draft pick,
Right.
and he's back out there today. He's had some injuries. We all know that. He got hurt last year. But that's a guy who, you talk about these preseason games, I'd like to see him out there some. I remember when Nas was a rookie and he was hurt, and he finally got in that last preseason
San
game.
Francisco game.
And
We've talked about that.
Destroyed it. Should have had like 9 interceptions.
And it was like, wow, this guy looks great. So it's kind of like there's guys. Webb's a guy like that. Like
Yeah.
I'd like to see him, and okay, what can he do? And and another guy is JT Woods, is who we've heard, range and speed.
He's starting to come on a little bit too.
And he looked. He looked
Saturday.
A
I'm excited to see.
little, he looked a little better toward the end of this week, or the end of this since the scrimmage on Sunday. So yeah, those are guys that as uninteresting as these preseason games can be. I mean, there's those little nuggets in there that we're all guys like us are really interested in, just because it offers a glimpse maybe of what this could be. In the future.
Overreact to the unofficial depth chart, but keep in mind, nobody has taken a snap yet, right? But the defensive tackle rotation though, you see, I want to see what Tito looks like from UCLA Abonia. Some of these guys, if Jerry plays, Fajoko, Gaziano, there's a lot of guys, that I think are kind of on that bubble now, and we truly don't know who defensive tackle, maybe 4, 5, and 6 are going to be.
Defensive tackle's going to lose a body. They're going to lose a body, or probably 2, to the practice squad, and cross their fingers and hope it doesn't get plucked. The running backs, I'm not sure. I could see him carrying 4.
You think?
Just because it's just a position of attrition.
Yeah.
And I think I could, if Larry and Joshua both have really good, preseason runs, I could totally see him carrying 4. Because you can park fullbacks on the, if you feel like but again, that's a really important position. We had Coach Staley tell us that, or was it Tom? It was either Tom or Coach said that, that that's, if it's not going to be a fullback, it was Tom who told us, it's going to be a tight end. That's a big position, special teams wise, fullback wise, lining up and being able to catch a pass, between Horvath and Neighbors. So I'm anxious to kind of see, I think, more the defensive tackles than anything, because I think that's where you're probably going to see some tough decisions have to be made.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because we've seen Fajoko and Gaziano; those guys can play.
Yeah.
It's
Make
they
plays.
can contribute. So yeah, you're right.
And they won't stay on the practice squad. They'll get picked up.
Yeah, I would think.
No doubt.
I would think
those guys.
the energy
you
they
can't
play
park them.
with, and people, that's hard to replicate that. And people see that upside, then yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
A guy who's kind of stood out to me, you talked to him yesterday, Sebastian Joseph Day. He brings an energy to practice.
This guy, I sound like Staley now.
Right.
He's an interesting dude, because he's Mr. Comedy, jovial, getting the crowd going, and he's the funniest guy in the room. And then the game, he gets on the
grass.
field,
He's a killer.
and he's got a little bit of, what in him, man. He's
Little
he's kind
salt.
of a he's the guy who it'll be interesting to see during games how that plays out, because I didn't realize until the last week here that this guy's kind of. He's got a little something in there that's that smile. There's something behind that smile.
Yeah.
He's not just Mr. Let's yuck it up.
Yeah,
So
but I think that vibes nicely with guys like Bosa and Mack. They're looking for dudes who are going to lay it out there.
exactly, and he's a guy. Those guys are, as long as they can do it and not cost penalties, not do dumb stuff,
Exactly.
and not hurt the team with something stupid after the
Which
whistle,
we've
whatever.
seen on the interior of that line in years past.
Yeah, you've seen that. If he, and I don't know that if that's something I've never heard about him having issues with
No.
that. So I assume he knows how to dial it back, when to do whatever. But as long as he doesn't, you're not hurting the team, especially in that position on defense. You love having a guy like that.
Yeah.
If there's a guy who everybody he's the classic example of the guy. When he's on your team, you love him. When he's on the other team, everybody hates him.
Right.
Right. But you don't want to. You hate playing against guys like that, which is exactly what you want, especially in that down and dirty position up in the front up there.
Last thing from me. What do you think you're going to eat? What do you think the meal's going to be
Wow,
for a
that's
preseason game?
Saturday?
It's got to.
You think it's going to be like a package sandwich? It's going to be a hot meal.
I think they're gonna.
Are they going to treat it like a regular season game, or are they going to pull the starters?
So it's a Chargers home game, right?
Chargers
so
home game.
And it's the two teams that play there. I mean, if they're not going to
Right.
bust it out for
That's
this.
what I'm saying. It's a 7 p.m. start.
I mean,
You think it's nuggets and corn dogs and packaged sandwiches?
I think they're gonna. I
you
think
think
they're
like
gonna
maybe
bring
a taco plate or something like that?
I think they're going to bring some heat. I think they're going to try to step it up.
I'm
Is that
looking
wishful
forward to that.
thinking, or it's a?
Oh, it's wishful
sincere-
thinking.
Yeah.
It's very wishful.
I heard they're
thinking.
going to bring in a full wet bar. It's going to be freaking old fashions.
Yep, that's it.
They're going to have one of those torches.
Get those stories written early.
Exactly right. Some bitters. It's going to be incredible.
But let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
Jeff Miller, LA Times. Appreciate Joshua Kelley, Easton Stick joining us. A preseason extravaganza money.
It was a long one, I think, right?
Yeah, we're roasting. What time is it?
It's 11:20.
It's not too bad. But this was by far the hottest day of camp, I think.
Brian was
The
disinterested
last
about
2
45
days.
minutes ago. He's like, come on, guys, wrap this up. will you?"
Hopefully this doesn't come across
So
on
over
camera.
this. So over this. Over you guys.
Shout out to the Chargers fans.
Yep.
Shout out to Die
Die Hard
Hard
Bull
Bull
Club. Thanks for the
giving us
shirt.
shirts, guys. For Muddy, for Jeff, I'm Chris. We'll see you next week.